The main character returned from the labyrinth to the city. Yeah, there are many adventurers here. The flow of time in the labyrinth differs from the city time spent in the labyrinth. In fact, it doesn't matter. The return to the city will still happen at noon the next day, so every time you have to change your watch, so that the time matches the city time, and suddenly the hero shouted Nikki the barbarian. What's his name? Vanon's second son? No, third son. And a moment later, another barbarian crack approached them. I immediately knew it was Shrum, the fourth son of Senik. Oh, and Foreman, the son of Nerun. He too here. In the end, Karahu came running so many relatives, that Burge got tired of wondering what the hell this reunion scene was about. All these barbarians jumped out, and how the hell can you remember whose sons they were while the hero was thinking about the barbarians? They all went to count the crystals. And what about Bjorn? He's coming. And the main character reluctantly replied that, yes, he's coming, and already on site. It turned out that Carrick had 41,000 crystals, incredibly more than 40,000. Yes, Carrick, the best warrior next to be counted, was Bjorn the employee clarified. In all the plowshares there are crystals, and having received positive answer, the girl got to work, and did it all very quickly, did not have to wait long. Everything ready, total 182,413 crystals. Barbarians heard this surrounded the hero. Wow, Yandel's son has 180,000, amazing. Yes, this is new record. Stop. Yes, it is not only with crystals, but also with a hammer, with boots and a backpack, as it's possible that he's so envious. He's definitely the best warrior, and wow how they praise him. Well, and it's not surprising that Hans is the first barbarian who went into the labyrinth, with his back turned and returned. Civilized man. Yes, he is the best warrior, congratulate him. Hooray! When congratulations, the barbarians died down and went out into the street. For now the hero decided to stick with them. Maybe he doesn't know some of the nuances or something else. It would be better to wait for the others, and go all together, and this is the same. Erwin, clearly, these are the people she usually hangs out with. How enviable. And around him, savages. Oh, looked here perfectly. Having liked they resisted to meet him night. The girl next to Erwin asked, what does Anna know about this barbarian? And the elf answered that she didn't know, but then Carrick noticed the direction of Yandel's son's gaze, but Bjorn didn't really know. This is a true hero answered that naturally, he doesn't know, to which Carrick stated that exactly that's what he thought. It would be better for him to never hang out with these cowardly long-eared ones. The situation got tense. These barbarians who don't understand how to keep their mouths shut. It's crazy. Yanis Servine. Now who's Romeo Juliet? About the last barbarians came out. It's time to go. Everyone has already gathered in such an atmosphere. It's definitely not possible to talk. You have to wait until night before leaving. Bjorn noticed how a little boy met his father upon returning from a foray into the game. 2. There was something similar joy and happiness of families, to whom relatives returned, and also despair and agony of those who happiness will not experience anymore. Hansu played in the dungeon and stone, many times, but seeing faces that were previously displayed as 2D graphics on a monitor in reality is very strange, but now they have reached their destination appointments, and to celebrate the reunion, the barbarians decided to get completely drunk in a fairly simple The guys are nuts. The only reason Lee went with the barbarians was so as not to miss some important step in the whole process. They are here, just press. Came a waste of time, unable to stand it. Bjorn stood up from the table. He needs to go. Well, where is this hero today? Leaves, eh? Oh well, good luck to him. The best warrior, Bjorn's son Yandela, exploring the city. The main character could not help but notice how peaceful life is here. There are no monsters or people which can harm in this place. Law and order. Reign. So you can even relax a little, even if here you can fall, get up easily, and if you're lucky, they'll even extend a hand. Definitely another world, much wilder than the modern 21st century, but at least peaceful. Living in this city will be good. In fact, it's much better. But although why all this deception? In fact, I really want to go home. I really want to go home, even if no one is waiting for Lee Hansu at home. Eventually evening came, and after getting enough sleep, Bjorn figured he had slept for about 5. It was already dark, so it was time to go to the tavern to meet Erwin. However, upon arrival at the place, something became clear. A certain man, having heard the name Black Whale from Bjorn, explained, "This place has already know, about 10 years ago, the owner's son got into debt, and the names of his businessman changed. Before the place was just wonderful, it's a pity. Now it's called, what is it called? And don't confuse Python, and wait a minute." Hansu was on the spot, so there used to be a black whale, different from games, local writing, he can understand, so it will be necessary to visit the library, or something similar. Okay, time to go inside, and here it is. Noisy and like such a crowd, and Skodervin did not take long to respond. It took a long time to wait, because the elf, having noticed the mister, called him herself, not a girl. This woman was not alone, she was urgent this afternoon. The stranger was clearly not in the mood, because she immediately started with some attacks. The main character is no longer paying attention, just introduced himself, only here, and who is she? This woman replied, she is the elder sister Erwin, the barbarian can call her Tertia RN, right there. I remembered that when we met, Eren introduced herself as Fornish Dergia, and this as it turns out she decided to say only her last name. Oh well, so why did Tertia come here? And the woman didn't hold on, got up and loudly hit the table. She had one question for the barbarian. Why did he call this little one, the girl last night in this lousy tavern? And as soon as he has the nerve, he asks why she came with her damn fat barbarian. Bernan decided to stop this flow of claims, with his own questions. And what does this mean last night? Otherwise he doesn't understand how he decided to turn on the fool, without receiving an answer. The guy turned to Erwin. Maybe she could at least tell how much time had passed, since their separation. Alfika thought for a moment, and figured that 30 hours had passed since then, and 30 hours were not 4. Now it's clear where such vigor comes from. If only he could sleep for more than a day. Having realized his mistake, the main character apologized in front of the girls. He didn't wake up from the very exit from the labyrinth, and listened to this stupidly, in a stupor froze that I didn't see the apologetic barbarian. In the end, Sister Irvins changed her anger to mercy. She still didn't hear anything from Varvar, waited like that. And why does he need Erwin? The main character was no longer
in a hurry to answer.
What does it matter to her? Let them ask her if so. Interesting. Well, that's it. I knew it. Damn barbarians. That's how the walls are, and he's like that. And she's just a newbie. She speaks so naked already. Well, and what does that have to do with it? Better and stop behaving like that, if she is going to continue to take care of Erwin. And Thersites got tired of it, and dumped a bag full of crystals on the table, worth 350,000, for the essence that Erwin received. Irgio Wedge hesitated. Scene 1-to-1 from Korean dramas, like here you go, Granny get lost girl, meanwhile was waiting for an answer. Why the barbarian doesn't take the crystals? Yee! I thought so, he had other motives. But that was not the reason. Irvin Kath, I agreed to this arrangement. The guy explained that initially, he planned to form a group with the girl, until she collects the amount for the essence. Girl surprised that this was really all that was required of her, and Bjorn answered positively, and they would get the prey divided in half. The elf seemed to be about to agree, but as if remembering something she suddenly became sad, and asked for forgiveness. And Terzi will explain what the matter is, because now Erwin will go to the labyrinth, with her. When Erwin went on her first foray alone, it was a simple study of tradition. Otherwise, Terzi would never have allowed her sister to be exposed to such danger, and what bad luck they had. Erwin made such a good team. It turns out there was already a group that would drag her to the upper floors. Damn blood ties. Tertia in the meantime, extended to the barbarian, a bag of crystals, since he understood everything, then let him take them. However, Bjorn asked her to slow down. 350,000, this is half the cost of the essence, and the girl did not understand the essence of the claim. Naturally, this is the total loot is divided in half. But Tertia apparently, I didn't understand that 280,000 is missing here. They agreed to share the spoils 9. Oh, how could she forget? Yes, here's another 280,000, the bearer added on the spot. The devil that is, she knew everything, and brought a bag of crystals in advance, but did not give it, and tried to scam fucking big-eared ones. Now he's starting to understand why the barbarians hate them. Anyway, the guy asked Tertia, once they ended up dumping him, He needed to talk to Erwin, and the girl wanted to continue the squabble, but then Erwin herself pulled her by the sleeve. She is very grateful to her sister for her care, but now Tertia can go. Erwin wants to thank Mr. and say goodbye after thinking a little. The eldest agreed, Erwin is not a child anymore. Just let Barbarian take an oath. Oath that not Respitvan, only then and only then. Tertia will leave Sam Alfian. Girl has become transparent, but Ornu didn't care. Don't sleep, Erwin, that is everything else is okay. He swears by the honor of a warrior, although underscore. He wanted this honor of a warrior, and Rorvan even got a little upset. Somehow Tertia, as promised, leaves. An oath is an oath after all, and yes, she almost forgot thank you for saving Erver Bjornsson and Yandel, and when the sister left the girl, I was worried, I was rubbing myself, but the girl wasn't angry. She had never spoken to her sister like that before. The main character calmed her down. It's unlikely she's angry, judging by her smile. Well, what then? Erwin Ron, the girl is definitely grateful for offer, but he and his sister made a promise to each other a long time ago. So well, Bjorn understood her. Everything is fine. He wouldn't have refused either, if a high-level elf had offered to drag him through. Erwin changed the subject in the labyrinth. Here are another 63,000 crystals. This is from the redhead, and the crossbowman. She got her share already. Took so. Mr. cannot worry about their backpacks. Now at her house, there are many different things. It will be better tomorrow. I'll see in person, the guy agreed, and nodded. I don't even need to say anything. She immediately understands everything. It's a pity to let go of such a companion, and yet they had to part. Understanding this, the elf asked, how can I thank her him? Erwin can't ignore the help he gave her, and Bjorn wondered, thank him? No, nothing comes to mind. Maybe Erwin wants to have a snack, but you refused. She's not hungry. Somehow well, and so Bjorn the train itself, as suddenly the girl blushed. Better she will order a drink, especially yesterday. The rascal didn't drink. Erwin would like to mark their joint return, with the main character, and Hans remembered to mark their joint return. This is a kind of tradition in the world of the game, for the elf who has spent her entire life in the monastery, for the first time is probably very important, and why should he be happy? No, the girl objected. Let him just thank you, and okay, thanks and no thanks. Problems. They supported each other in the labyrinth, and now they will share the first drink, after returning. Although he has the same probably, this is not the first time. Well, what is it about this? Is also the first time for him. And why is it so? Mr. 20, this is not a joke, everything is correct. He also said, that it was his first time in the labyrinth. Well, then it was even more of a reason to celebrate. When the table was already set, it's time to celebrate the return of Mr. did a great job. Yes, Erwin did a great job too, and some time later, Erwin, having gotten quite drunk, couldn't help but notice how short the shirt is on Mr. today. Yeah, and that one in the short skirt. Okay, enough empty talk. It's time to get down to business. So Erwin remembers wanted to thank him. There is one option, and what kind of Bjorn said Shupadam, that it is better to talk about it not here, otherwise the security they will call about this. Maybe then it is worth discussing this with him, and the hero will not take long. Thinking agreed, great idea, and some time later outside the door, were some strange sounds. Erwin that can't relax. Yes, everything will be fine. Ern guarantees, but even if Mr. asks, oh my shoulder damn, he's going to rip her arm off now. The girl has never done that before, didn't bend, and that's fine. Bjorn said somehow, something to rest a little after all. It's still difficult for him to control his strength. The elf of course wasn't against it. Did she really survive? And her hand was still there, and the main character thought, I see. It turns out that the increase in flexibility on the plus side is not particularly noticeable in real life, and the girl seemed upset. I thought that they would not only check the characteristics here, I mean what else would they do here? Actually I actually wanted to check the difference between the essence effect in the game, and in real life. The dungeon, and the stone never spared. It was enough to look at the characteristics window of your players, to understand that this is strength, intelligence, and abilities. These are three, the main characteristics in the drop-down lists, of which there were hundreds of other parameters. For example, increased stamina, allowed them to carry heavy things, and deal more damage with physical attacks, thanks to which even characters with the same characteristics were played differently. Lahanu spent thousands of hours studying, and even after 9 years of playing, not I understood the effect of some parameters. Damn developers. For example, the effect of obsession Aeron received an increase in this characteristic, along with the essence. The hero only knows that this is a low-level characteristic of the branch intellect. Meanwhile the girl asked, maybe they could do something else, and this received a counter question, not did she feel any changes after returning from the labyrinth. Obsessive thoughts, maybe incontinence. Well she won't even answer, although she didn't really like cookies before, and upon returning, she ate a whole bunch. It's clear that obsession can increase desire. Now it's clear why it was so difficult to notice the effect in the game, and new characteristics may also appear, which the guy doesn't even about. You need to remember this, as suddenly Erwin said to her something. She wanted to lie down, but oh, the hero thought he would like to check a couple more things. Well, to hell with them. It's time to go to bed. And they went to bed. The elf immediately fell asleep, hugging Bjorn, but he himself was in no hurry to fall asleep. After all, her sister told them not to sleep together, although it makes no difference. Tertia probably meant another his dream in the morning. In Aether was still one more thing to do, to disassemble the UD. Erwin could not believe they had really collected so much, and that Mr. Is he going to do anything with it all? Wants to sell it? Yes. Mess. Hans confirmed, he will only leave a couple of things. In that case, can I take the leather suit and belt? And Bjorn answered positively, of course let her take it, it will be her share. So by selling off the remaining drops here and there the guy was able to earn 1,450,000 stones with Erwin's usual share of 1,400. He never made nearly that much on my first try. This is a great start. Okay, time to go back. Only here is Erwin for some reason. I didn't want to where such a reaction came from. They seem to have done everything. If she wants, of course they can walk together to the central square was on the way anyway. And the girl reluctantly agreed. She just wanted to walk around a little longer or something. When they arrived, they saw a large crowd. It didn't take Bjorn long to realize what was happening. It was starting execution. These people did not commit serious crimes, did not kill or rape. They are guilty only of not paying taxes. Ravdoni. This is the last hope in the world, engulfed by the witch's curse. The only place from which you can get resources is the labyrinth of those who are not able to pay for their own existence, is bent to reduce the number of mouths to feed. And when the sentence was carried out, execution, Ziki rushed to sprinkle bread with blood and eat it, just like that. Irvin already fell asleep. Why are they doing this? Abion explained everything. Because there is a belief that drinking the blood of the executed brings the favor of fortune. Erwin, remember what the first year tax is? 700,000. Everything is for non-humans. She answered, and this very close to what was in the game. And how much of a second year? And that is 800,000. And there is a commission when exchanging. Yes, everything is as he thought. It coincides with the game taxes increase with each year of work. So you can't stop training. If you find ways to return home, or to become stronger, you can end up like these poor guys. In no time you should save up as much money as possible, so that in the future you don't have to worry about anything. And for this you need to go up to at least the 6th floor, to avoid execution, and survive some time later. Bjorn arrived at the library. In the game, I remember it was in development, and that it was all on him staring, like that never seen a barbarian book lover, eh? What is this Einar? The second or the third daughter of someone there. What is she doing here? Perhaps it is worth waking her up to find out. However, when Einar woke up, she immediately raised a fuss, seeing her brother Varvara. Bjorn's attempts her calm down did not lead to success. The hero gave up, but still, what is she doing in the library? The girl explained that as Yandal's son said, you need to think first before doing something, so she decided to start new ones. Knowledge. And the main character appreciated her aspirations. Einar clearly differs from other barbarians. Meanwhile, she continued, having said that, I understood something while traveling through the labyrinth. You need to be wary of not only monsters, and it is clear, it seems like a lot has happened to her, but the other barbarians only boasted about their successes. Fineland's second daughter is having a hard time. Bjorn exhaled. Everything is right. That's why she decided to study, but it's very difficult to read. So she wants to go to the temple, so that she can be taught to read and write first. Yeah, and when she gets there is going to do it right now, to which Einar replied that yes, otherwise, she will simply forget if she doesn't do it right away. And yes, by the way, she did promise to repay Bjorn for the advice, if they didn't return alive, so if he ever finds himself in trouble, let him. An angry bull comes to the tavern, and Einar will do everything possible to help. And okay, Haz, said the main character, as long as she didn't forget her promise in a couple of days, because then he might really need this help. Continuing, follow the library alone. The guy did not understand how in such a gigantic place it is possible to find the necessary book. Maybe it's worth contacting the staff. It's like she's a librarian. Yes, he fell asleep right on work. Oh, what happened? And when the main character explained that he needs a girl cast a spell for Stedev, the guy became alert. She used magic on him. And what changed? And the girl yawned. She said that now Varvar will easily find the book he needs. Let him just walk around and take it with him. It's forbidden. Maybe raid books here. And when he's done, let him return them to their place. The library is like nothing happened. Fell asleep. Again, if Bjorn went to search, the effect of this spell manifested itself almost immediately. The magic of the girl highlighted the books he needed for him. Now it's clear why. Only one person sits at such a library. So the first book, The Fallen World. For thousands of years, these lands are subject to the curse of the witch, unsuitable for life. Ravdoni, the last fortress that escaped disaster. The ruling family opened the way to another dimension for people who died due to lack of resources. This place is called a labyrinth. What is the ancient history of this world? Similar to prologue of the game. Now the second book, Basic Notes of Alchemy. 4. It tells about how magical monster crystals can be turned into bread, water, steel. And the further Holy War 3 book, about reasons hatred of barbarians and elves. Okay, it won't hurt to read. But here's the fourth book, must be more useful than the rest. Evil spirits, poor evil spirits. In this world are those who came from another dimension to take over someone else's body. The reasons are not described here, but it is clear that the ruling family and the church has done a lot to get rid of this phenomenon. In short, the main thing is not to give yourself away, and then everything will be alright. The fifth book about the death of the king. It is dedicated to the first king, Ravjan. He also known as the Immortal King, who died 150 years ago. The game began with his death, and this means that as many as 150 years have passed since the events of the plot. Now it is clear why they constantly meet composition of the game and reality. The next book, Notes on the Instability of Dimensions. Apparently this is the same book about which the blonde guy said. He mentioned that what happened then was a rather rare phenomenon, but the book says that passing through the portal at the moment of closing can cause instability. What is it that turns out to be the events happened due to his own fault? Damn, it's disgusting to think about it. Okay, it's time to finish already. It's too late. The rest next time. In this way, 3 days have passed since returning from the labyrinth. I am resting in my room. The guy figured that he still has 27 days for everything. Because the labyrinth opens exactly on the 1st of the month at midnight tomorrow. We'll start looking for companions, thought Lian-Su before finally falling asleep. And already in the morning, someone was knocking on the door. It was Erwin, who had come running early in the morning to show him something. She had a contract concluded this wind spirit, 10 times, tried to make a contract with his spirit stone, and finally worked his verses perfectly. Go well with fire, don't they agree? Yes. Agreed. Bjorn, wrinkle your eyes. Renev, I was just lucky. Spirit stones. Eat items that allow you to make a contract with a spirit, with a 10% chance. They are quite dear, says spent 10 of the 7 rich people. Or what in the end is a hero? Asked Alfika to call the spirit back, but the girl frowned. She hadn't shown everything yet, but the guy was adamant. She sees what a mess she's making here, and oh, what has she done? Now he will clean it up. Immediately after some time, the room almost sparkled. Yarnu had to admit her words that she good at cleaning turned out to be true. Quickly she coped. Well, Erwin, that she signed a contract, and the girl heard praise, cheered up. However, the barbarian is interested in something else. Why should she waste her time to come here? Doesn't she have more important things to do, like getting ready for the labyrinth, for example? Elithica agreed. Of course it is. It's all right. She just came running because she wanted him to be the first to know about the contract. But Byrne couldn't anymore understand why she does this. It's just because he is her first companion. Maybe she is thinking about some special connection between. They usually maintain purely working relationships better, but they will cut off the regime. The barbarian salesman. He plans to live here for a long time, so if there are any problems Erwin can come when they are doing well. After all, comrades. It is useful to have more connections between then and before returning to Labyrinth. 26 days left. Is it a lot? Or a little? It doesn't matter. It's worth using this time correctly. And the main character knows how to do it. Tavern. Angry. Bull. Where the barbarians stopped everyone. Recognized him here. Yes. And Ruth. As before. It's almost like my eardrums are bursting. But to the point. He's here to find Einar. But actually. And he has one request for her. How about fighting? He needs training. And okay. But it's not exactly a service he's on the field. Sparring wagon. Okay. The girl agreed. If not early in the morning, then she is ready to fight with Bjorn at any time. And if so, then how does she look? Einar didn't need to be persuaded to start right away. The training began. But the fight didn't last long. It was a real rout. She is really good. Time will be well spent again and again. So they studied until dark. During this time the main character felt fully at his own school. How strong is Einar? She is smarter than ordinary barbarians, and is unlikely to betray, so it is worth using her now. Promise. How she plans to go to the labyrinth alone? Probably. Midas. The girl answered. She has no money to collect group. And then how about joining him to become teammates? He will take 80%, but will pay for the creation of the team. And Honor abruptly interrupted him. Not a word more. Damn, really didn't suit her conditions. But no. She still doesn't understand anything that Bjorn says there. Even if he explains, she agrees to the deal, and Great Hanzu will be glad to work with her. And now there is still one thing left. The next day the main character arrived in the temple of Varvara together with Seinar, where they were already greeted by the leader. He didn't really have a desire to return, but what to do without this labyrinth cannot be passed. He needs a spiritual seal, or more precisely, the seal of the immortal. This is a mandatory skill to clear the labyrinth. All non-humans have different features. Elves can make contracts with spirits, to buy borrowing their power. Dwarves are able to receive armor blessings to enhance the effectiveness of equipment. Beastmen have the service of ancient beasts, totem animals. But barbarians have spiritual seal. Just wondering, where Bjorn knows about this young warriors. Usually they don't know, so he read it in a book. It said that spiritual seals helped a lot in the war against the elves. And the leader laughed. That is Bjorn. Read books. Well, he and Einar are real pride of their tribe. No problem. If warrior wants, no reason to refuse. But first you need to pay him 800,000. He will settle such stones. And of course the main character answered confidently. Yes, at the beginning of the game, it is difficult to earn so much, but at higher ranks you will need not only money, but also rare materials. However, now this much money will be enough. But the leader is interested in something. How did he manage to get so much? Earn money. And the guy expected to hear such a question, and had already prepared an answer. All because he was lucky in the labyrinth. Stumble upon a wounded elf, using her as a slave. He took away the honestly earned crystals, and a little later, gave away the essence, forcing her sister to pay. That's how the elves are pathetic. No, well, they give, yes. The leader of the barbarians can't remember the last time he rusted so much, and the rest all believed. And for the fact that Bjorn made the old man laugh so much. This story has a small gift, and damn 200,000 stones. Return such the benefit for a simple fairy tale is awesome. He will then sharpen it with these big-eared ones, so that become a cool warrior. It's funny that the more a guy looks at other barbarians, the more he likes them. Definitely has its own charm. Returning to the spiritual seal. It is a kind of strengthening technique, the meaning of which is in filling the body barbarians, tattoo newly born children, with special ingredients, that give them special powers, when their souls are still pure, so that the paths of the soul are visible, even after they grow up. Therefore each barbarian has them. The hero himself will choose an advanced one, the spiritual seal of the immortal, which is the basis of the build for the barbarian tank. Other seals are of course also useful, but for those playing the long seal of the, this is an obvious option, only damn it's something you'll have to endure every time. Underscore. How painful.
But a little later, the first level of the seal was unlocked.
Immortal naturally regeneration has increased significantly, and physical characteristics have increased by 13. Okay, thanks to the shaman. He's just laughing. But it's just the first time he sees a warrior who made a seal thanked someone, and now the devil has not given himself away. You need to get out as soon as possible, but this seal, this is far from all ahead. Purchase of equipment, thanks to training Atheron. The hero realized that the sword is not really for him. It is better to concentrate on learning counting techniques and wait until you manage to get the necessary essence. Therefore, fiddling with a sword is a waste of time. You should consider something else, for example a mace, and about protective equipment. Equipment should never be forgotten, so the list of orders has been replenished with a helmet for 170 and half armor for 360,000. As a result, after buying everything necessary, only 50,000 stones remained on hand from the moment of leaving. A lot of time has passed in the labyrinth, and things have become routine. At 7 a.m., get up breakfast. Serve in further library VPT, do 4 p.m., and then hiking in unfamiliar places to collect information that can't be found in the library. And finally, around 5 trainings with barbarians. In a week of training managed to become much stronger. It would be nice to spare some skills, but such training is useful for ordinary fighting instincts as well. Regular training has sometimes borne fruit. It was possible to defeat Dejaner. She is skilled, but the movement is predictable. The hero already told her about it, but she already just I'm used to fighting like this, and it's unlikely that it will be easy to fix it later on. At 9 o'clock on schedule, he has to return home for a shower and dinner with Erwin. Around 1 dinner ends, and Erwin returns home somehow, and a whole month has flown by. There was only 1 day left before the labyrinth opened, and at 20 o'clock Björn and Einar arrived at the guild researchers to formalize the magical connection. Cost a lot for a one-time thing, but it is necessary. Starting point is set randomly, so you need a magical connection to end up in the same place with your partner. This gadget will work for 24 hours, so they still have some time. Maybe they should have a snack before labyrinth. So the guy ordered the most expensive dinner in this tavern, last pier for 800 stones. Before, however, for Einar such food seemed almost royal. She could not stop. It was so delicious. There was food. It was like in a dream. She needs to try much harder to earn a lot of money to eat so constantly. Soon there were only 10 minutes left before the opening of the labyrinth. Last time the hero did not notice, but the portal is true. The big ones must be the wars, and the newcomers arrived just in time with the ceremony. Apparently, how did they manage to be on time? Every time Björn didn't have time to get to answer his own question, because at that very moment, the guards announced the opening labyrinth, and outside was going to go, but the guy stopped her. Not now is necessary. Check something. If his guesses are correct, then the girl did not let him finish. Let it be as he wants anyway. She won't understand anything. However, when there was only 1 left before the portal closed, for a minute, Anarina was worried about the joke. Isn't it time for them to come in already? Otherwise they'll be late. The hero continued to stand motionless. I waited for a signal from the guards, and finally waited until the guard at the gate announced that the portal almost closed. The guy rushed forward, calling Einar to follow him. In the end they managed to slip through at the last moment, and as he thought they ended up in a dark zone. Well, this time they had torches with them, and there was also a monument, with the help of it. It will be possible to open a portal directly to the 2nd floor, and get there now. Every gamer should know how use such bugs to your advantage, and you can already watch the 4th, 5th and 6th parts on Boost Patreon, link in the pinned comment. So if you want to watch them right now, go ahead and subscribe, and also subscribe to Telegram. There are a lot of videos there that were removed from YouTube, for example, part 42 of the retelling of leveling up, in Alone, and of course, thanks to all those who support this channel with money. Here they are all from left to right. Without you there would be no such frequent release of videos. Well, and soon see you in the next video. Bye. Welcome to the 4th part retelling of Manhova survival in the game for Varvar. If you haven't watched the previous parts, then you can do it by following the prompt in the upper right corner. Enjoy watching. In the previous part, the main character took advantage of the bug, and got straight into the place in front of the portal to the 2nd floor. It turns out we're going for it. Because he's a guy, the first one opened the teleporter they poured him. Experiences, the character's level has increased, and maximum amount of essences increased by 1. However, Unurbo in confusion, how Björn did it VOD. He said that it would take at least 3 to get to the second floor. Well, how about books? I read it, and damn, he's a smart guy. As for the place they ended up in, this is definitely the land of the dead. That's not all. Something is moving through my veins right now and fills the whole body of Han's eye. Energy too feels this. Not this is probably the main one. The hero's spiritual level has grown, and at first Lee didn't understand what level of soul she is means, but later guessed it's the same character level. In the dungeon and stones, it was possible to increase your level. From this increased the amount of mana required to use skills, and also the number of essences available for absorption. So on at the second level, you can use 2 essences simultaneously. To enhance level, requires experience that can be earned money for killing monsters. Moreover, experience is given only for killing the first one monster of each type, so over time growth is becoming more and more difficult. However, there is a way to break through this wall. Speedrun portal. Experience is given for every first opening of the portal, therefore if you do everything in a well-trodden way, then it's possible, not bad. So you need to make some points, use this trick to its full potential for now. Others didn't find out, let it be theirs. Sanar with a secret, if anyone asks it took us 2 days to get here, no one needs it, know how they did it. Sooner or later experienced people will get here late, researchers, and 100% will ask, how did the newbies get here before them? So it's better not to get caught by anyone. People's eyes are even more to be feared than monsters. Okay, time to move out. Activates candle barbarian mode. Yes it does. I just tied the torch to my helmet with a rope. Other researchers have been doing this for a long time, but still a bit embarrassed. Fakel, it's magical so you can't get burned by it. It burns for 3 days. What about the lands of the dead? Then there are much stronger ones here, monsters than in the goblin forest, but here there are no traps, so you can move forward much easier. In other words, ideal a place for 2 barbarians, and here are the first one's enemies. Ghouls, only 3, after all in the first day after all, but on the 3rd day, the quantity will triple, and how good Aelith are. She's already tired of walking around doing nothing. She's the one with, they will be dealt with by how easy. Second floor, it will be simple, at least for her. It will be, so it seemed. But what is this Cree? A scary and underscore. Can't get up. Huge afraid of such trifles. These are banshees. They rarely attack first. It's better to just ignore them. Sanar attacks won't work anyway. They will attack first and receive the curse. In that case the banshees will hunt for them to the very exit of the labyrinth. And the girl got even more scared. How is this curse? What a nightmare. Yeah. How lucky that she and Byrne are together. It's not for nothing that she went with. And what else is scary? And the skeletons. She will figure it out herself here. And only Hanzu told my friend to aim between the ribs. Like it turned out that with her power this advice was not. That's what's really needed. After that the barbarians came north for almost 8 hours, meeting on the way a variety of monsters, elder ghouls, that twice as many as normal, mutants, skeletons turned into warriors and archers. These creatures are not particularly dangerous, represented their number on the first day. It was small in the combat capabilities. The hero also grew slightly balava. It fits perfectly in terms of weight and length, so the skulls crumbled much more efficiently than with a hammer. The vest-shaped armor reduced an area that previously had to be close with a shield. This gave space for maneuver and allowed to fight more aggressively. The rest of the helmet may not protection from crossbow bolt, but rotten. The arrows of the local skeletons will easily withstand, but even though Hans is not doing badly, it's not real. Powerful combat unit A. With a scream Vihio, she just turned everyone into dust. By the way, Pihila seems to be barbaric deity. At first the guy didn't understand why Einar yells this before the attack, but gradually got involved myself, and it became just rolls off the tongue. Team spirit. And anyway, it's unrealistic to stay cheerful. This is it calls the reprimand barbaric and spiritual. The printing didn't disappoint either. Thanks natural regeneration. What does the seal give? The immortal's wound healing takes only minute. Yes, and endurance recovers faster when Hanzuyu. It was painful. It was brutal. But now the effect is worth it. But still it's worth it more seriously. The banshee's screams became louder, and the earth is dry. It looks like they'll take a look soon. Monsters of the 8th rank. And here it is as if did I jinx it or something? This underscore appeared. Take positions. This is the demon of death. Let Einar quickly remembers. You have to aim only in the head. Hit somewhere else. There's no point. 3, 2, 1. let's go chip in by blow, and how and not by blows. Bjorn neither. Einar's attacks were successful, it's like it's slamming on concrete, so it's cramped, this __. But at that moment, Einar she attacked and came out, but there was no sign of him swimming there. It's sad in the game. Demon of Death, known for its impenetrable defense, so and also a wound inflicted with difficulty by the girl. The Demon of Death lasted a few minutes seconds. It's all because of his passive skill, preservation of the body, so other was little passive, and this is also a devil, active skill, summoning ghouls, call of death. It seems they have it now really serious. Problems need to be, divide, Guna a Nara. Bjorn will answer Demon of Death, having decided on a plan. The barbarians set to work on Hans as well. He said he held on as best he could, and simply won a lot of time, and the girl pretty quickly dealt with the enemies, and hurried to help Bjornu. However, even her powerful the blow was not enough to at least to cause any serious damage to the Demon Death, but then he got distracted, now towards the end, as the explosions will hit him. It turned out as it should be, pretty good, charged probably took off a lot of HP, look how brains are leaking out, yes, but here are the creatures. I threw it away without any delay, the main character, and that he is okay. Seriously, Bjorn is not very. Such an attack calmly one-shots the goblin, but not this one. It turned out okay to damage it instantly, regenerates strength, and so interrupt the regen. So far, it doesn't work out. What to do then? Return weak mob's kick. Only a what is Einar doing? She grabbed him abruptly, demon by the paw. Does he really want to drop him, or what? What sounds like a plan? Well, let it be so. __. Gets kicked in the legs. Oh, what's wrong? He himself seems unable to rise. Great, right now he's just fermenting rotten stuff for him. Mouth, what a beautiful long-forgotten feeling. He kicked the rice cakes like that when I went on a school excursion. How it's fun. This is how hunting should be real. Barbarians befitting the monster fell. The magic crystal is much bigger than all previous. However, Bjorn warned dreaming partner, it's not worth it. Admire. Such a stone is worth only 100 ordinary ones, and taking into account the ghouls, it comes out hundreds. 3. The reward is not enough wherever you look. They risked their lives here. The girl, I was worried about something a little different. Will it remind me? Bjorn, how much does that bread cost at the tavern? And she's about cream pie. Well, about 300s, and it's clear, so it turns out she can eat one of these for everyone. Demon of Death, then they have no time. Relax. Let's go, hunting. Okay then, let's go. This is how it is to crush enemies, companies of barbarians, and then Erwin is passive a little bit. After that R2 only, and so hunted the demons of death. How they only saw one, and grabbed his legs and felled from constant blows to the head. __. Smokey died. Thus managed to catch about 70 death demons on the very first day. At the very beginning of the game, dungeon and stone drop, chance essence is very low, therefore most people play whatever comes their way, but hunting death demons is profitable, also because they fall out of them, essence with good synergy to printing immortal, and she also gives good passive skill. True, nothing this time, it didn't fall out, but it could be, essence will come in handy very soon. Next day the demons of death began to appear in pairs. However, the tactics did not change. First the first one appeared on the ground, and the second monster. However, if you don't do it, everything is fast, and in a moment they can be surrounded by ghouls, which is quite dangerous. Death demons are not pursue prey beyond their borders, territories, so in this case it is better just run as fast as you can. Afterwards, by midday they stopped appearing in duplicate, and 3 demons of death for 2 is already too much, so by the end of the second day, the barbarians stopped hunting these creatures. It's time to rest. But how about this place? Looks comfortable. However, it wasn't only the heroes who noticed quiet territory. On it too, a group of human adventurers came across. Hans wanted to take the floor, but he ain't got ahead of them. What are they staring at? If there is nothing to do, let them get out of here. Fuck. And she's asking nicely, for now they are already leaving. Well, having waited while they are hiding, the girl reported Bjornu. Bad news. They will have to leave this place. These researchers know their location. Better to find another one place for a camp. People can't be trusted. And the guy agreed, but couldn't get there. Stop thinking about where his partner came from. So much mistrust of people. She and last time I didn't like them. Really, something happened during the first Vilovsky. It would be better to ask about this in another time, and yet for some time later, Einar said that it was unlikely that they will find such a good place as previous, and Bjorn agreed. That's it, I see. So they will take what they want, give, as suddenly throughout the entire area, there was a sound cry for help, urgently please, only it's strange. These are some kind of screams, such isgi. It is not those who are attacked by monsters who make this sound. Adventurers kill each other. Yes, there were 4 fresh corpses of monsters. There are no traces of the camp and poisoning here. This is the woman who saw them, and immediately chuckled. More newbies. Yes, it's immediately obvious who is she. This is a marauder. Marauders are people that are engaged in hunting others. Researchers, instead of collecting magical, they collect monster crystals, other people's equipment, and naturally, in Ravdonia, such activity is punishable death. But if you think about even the main thing, the hero was not convicted of murder 6 adventurers, although it was self-defense, but not the point. Main idea this. If there are no witnesses, then people are behind outside the labyrinth. Never, and about nothing. They won't recognize it. This is the first time the barbarian has seen something like this. Marauders. And so for the first time. But to the guy one look was enough to understand. They Einar have big problems. This girl looks like a real pro. Height about 170. Tall and fit, red hair up, shoulders and torn right ear. Tattoo right under the eye. She should be known with such and such signs. But since no one has heard anything about her, then, she is very good at what she does. Others' words never leave witnesses. Only 4 corpses and equipment on magic high level. Looks like adventurers reaching at least to the 5th floor. 3 no visible wounds. Poisoned. But the last one was definitely killed. Apparently he had resistance to poisons. And what is it? The team turns out to be. What's the girl doing? Replied that. Who knows? Most likely they considered her their friend. Watching that how this girl calmly searches bodies while simultaneously exposing his back to him. And Einar Hansu realized that she wasn't afraid of 2 at all. Barbarians, newcomers, and the sword also fit in bag. It looks like it's one of those expensive ones, bags with inventory expansion. It's scary to imagine how much she is stronger. No, it seems obvious here that we must do. They won't fight Einar. You have to run as fast as you can. Of course this will only benefit a little time. Who knows when the marauder will give chase. Marks on trees which he left for Hans, just in case the case will come in handy now. They Einar will help them get to the portal back. However, what the guy definitely couldn't do. Expect so. This is a meeting with another one. A group of people, only 4 people. Of course it's hard to trust. But there's no choice now. They are being pursued by marauders. They need help. Yes. But as adventurers to know that the barbarian himself is not lying. Maybe how, since he is a marauder, and he swears honor of a warrior, he speaks the truth. Oh no, if so, then they believe him. This is the honor of a warrior. Some cheat code. Okay, Visov's squad. It will help, but the whole trial is with marauder. They'll get it on their hands. Then, now we'll use the goblin skill. The very one that makes both the wearer and others invisible team members within a radius of 3. True there is. And the disadvantage is that you can't move like this. How can you avoid a battle? How lucky. Yes, how lucky, he repeated. Thoughts. Hansu bawled. Both barbarians themselves fell into their trap. Effect applied suppression. Well, how surprised that not they can move. And they are the ones who are sure they can't answer. And here's the infection. These underscore turned out to be looters themselves. The essence that they couldn't get is this stone golem active skill, suppression. Need to get at least the slightest damage to remove its effect. By the time pseudo-researchers already examined the luggage of 2 barbarians, they've got quite a few AI women here, managed to catch it. It's a pity she's a barbarian. Yeah. But, on the other hand, their hearts are worth a fortune. What assholes, can't anything be done? It won't work. This underscore has already brought his dagger. No, it's worth getting at least some damage, and you will be able to move. That's all, just a little bit. And that's what you need to do, is to tilt the head before how underscore will pierce it enough deep. Yes, it hurts, and it may turn out even fatal, but so far everything is according to plan. Take that, freak. Now for the rest, depends on Einar, and having the opportunity move. The girl instantly chopped the remaining ones, missed only one. Yes, and to hell with him. Bjorn dies here. No, so much blood of the killer. Her revenge will be scary. I'd better give it to him before he dies. Shock 0.1% health left. Even achievement gave intelligence increased by 3. But the main thing is that I will survive.
However, from such a wound,
she'll definitely have a scar. Lucky that he did. Bought the seal of the immortal while it was still there. Opportunity without it, he would have definitely died. And Naruto thinks that's great. You're probably the only barbarian with a scar on neck. If you think about it, then, yes, from a blow to even a barbarian's neck won't be easy recover no matter how big it is. There were problems anyway, more important. If Einar took all the things, then I need to catch up with that guy urgently. Could have run far away as a result. So it turned out that the conversation with him worked out, not particularly long-lasting, because suddenly poisoned right on him. Dart. It was that same redhead girl marauder that all this time I watched them, and I must say that the fight was pretty impressive. And damn. Okay, you won't be able to run away from her. We'll have to fight. Having entered the battle, the hero confirmed his fears. The woman is really very dangerous and strong. How many essences does she have? What if I can't tip it over? I have to try to push away. Now what? Why did the whole body suddenly stop, move? Did she really break through the armor and pierce the back with a simple dagger? How can use aura or something? And if so, there was no chance from the very beginning. But here Einar didn't think so. She was already behind back and was about to strike, only here the marauder was faster, having overtaken her, literally leaving her. No chance. Well, what? Now they understood the difference in the strength of the barbarians. How will the paralyzing Cirrus give up already spread throughout his body, and is this really the end? Move. It doesn't work. That's all, I guess. And yes, there would have been the end, but if they swear that no one they won't tell about what they saw will save their lives. The girl actually, I was going to do this from the very beginning. She doesn't really want to kill barbarians. She owes them a debt. That's how it is now. It's clear why she didn't interfere in the fight with. She wouldn't have to be those bastards kill them. Saner personally, if those marauders did it. Well, okay, so what? If he refuses, she will die. Of course she promised. But it's none of his damn business, and the hero understood everything well. He swears the honor of a warrior, that he will not tell anyone about what happened, and what's good if that's the case. Björn seems to be unique in a sense. In the end the redhead cured Björn potion, and it was Einar's turn. What will it be like her decision? But she is against it for nothing. I see. Well then there is no other choice. All the best in the next world to this woman barbarian. Yes, in another split second, Einar will die. Something needs to be done. Why be stupid? Let him just take an oath, and that's it. But Björn, I'm sure this is a warrior's oath. And what? This warrior, she actually promised that will carry out all orders of the chief hero. Well please in the end. What's the point of pride if she gets killed? Einar hesitated a little, but still agreed, and begged for the same oath. Life for yourself. And before parting Björn asked permission to do something. Asked from which floor is the girl on which usually climbs. What are they on? Potential killer. Answered eighth. Eighth. If she really is an adventurer with, they only managed to save the 8th floor thanks to this fucking promise. But if we'll have a chance to meet again then everything will be different. Having been like this way, on the 2nd floor, barbarians returned to the 1st. To the guy's surprise they managed to land normally, unlike Einar. She is fine, and it hurts. But she's still not a warrior anymore. Therefore he has no right to complain. Yes, that's all much worse than the hero could have imagined. Should one really beg for mercy with the honor of a warrior? It's so shameful. She needs to understand one thing. Only the strongest warriors survive. Having survived, they now have a chance to win. Their enemy in the future, only something Einar speaks, abstrusely, but he doesn't understand. The sentence is longer than 3 words, but a little. She understood. She will endure shame and desire. Kill yourself will endure everything. Just to become as strong a warrior as he is. Only it's hard to say that Konosuke is a little bit feels something like that. Well okay, never mind. The day will come when they will take revenge. Although they and Einar were on their feet for 20 years, it's not time to rest yet. Of course it's bad. About the same as when the blonde guy was saved, and the priestess couldn't heal threw him a potion like some kind of bald dog. Yes, why? How in principle that's how it was. Lee rushed to that hill like a dog on a bone. Of course Hanzu was. I'm glad I'm alive, but I'll forget that feeling. It's simply impossible. And then he swore to himself that he will not experience something like this again. But here they are again. How did this happen? The main character, who had lived through the situation, did best choices, roughly speaking focused only on the present. Well, what else is possible? it was necessary to do. As soon as I opened my eyes, a man was beheaded right in front of him. Other unreal things happened alone for another. There was no choice, I had to put your own first security. But now it is obvious that it is impossible to survive here in any way. Change plan. Question Kynar, what if we'll show a method to become stronger, which however, it is very associated with a high risk. How to agree, and of course if not to become stronger, then they will die with him anyway. Okay, then they go into the rift. This life will always be filled with chaos, which way will not choose, therefore it is better to attack, be the first to find and destroy this chaos. All what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Having agreed, the partners set off the path where they immediately encountered a large number of different monsters. But not only, this makes this area difficult, because darkness must be used constantly torches. There is no reason to come here, unless it's to cut road, and gain some time. Easier saying great place, to do something hide. Seeing the strange stone, Einar asked what it was, and the guy explained, this is a memorial to a man who the first, to find the labyrinth. The last wise man Defon Grandel, Gabrielios, and this pedestal here are some of his great discoveries. Yes, description just like in the game. A means there is probability that an hidden condition remained unchanged. So he is going to open the rift and everything that happens next must remain a secret. Dayanar. I understood even part of the warrior. Swears only, this is what a rift is, and this is a labyrinth. Inside the labyrinth. In the game it was called instances, or inspotion for short. What is protected by the selected amount careful. To open the rift on the first floor, should be located magic crystals, of 4 types monsters on the memorial. They will have it goblin, gnome, ghoul, and brethren-headed wolf. Well, and the last one will be the demon crystal death, with the crystal of the monster of the 8th rank. The rift will be opened, such the combination will create an instance of 5-person. Difficulty depends on quantity participants, so now they will be given more people in the party. And I wonder who it is. There will be such passages into another reality, appear randomly on each floor, but they have a recovery time. Knew the rift on the first floor opens up like at least in 3 months, but just wait, very inefficient. That's why people started look for a way to open the rift forced on the first floor. There is 4 faults that where they Saynar hit the red sky, as if the world was about to will be destroyed by a cloud of crows that fly overhead on the road to the dark castle. Yes, this is a bloody citadel. The protagonist knew where they will end up as used magic crystal of the demon of death. And that's it. What does this place look like in real life? Much scarier. The good news is that the first floor faults are passable regardless of the complexity. Now is the most. The important thing is who will appear here. The rest group members will be selected randomly. And just then Einert noticed someone was coming. I wonder who it is. Meanwhile, on the first floor of the labyrinth, Erwin together with sister continued their own research, and the older one doesn't like that Erwin summoned the spirit again. She already explained, you have to be able to protect yourself without Luke and the spirit. Yes, Rain understands everything, but Mr. said, what was needed, concentrate on what works best of all, and that is the duty of everyone researcher to trust his team, and to fulfill the assigned role, and he is right, said Tertia grabbing her sister by the shoulders. Yes, but alas, the world is not so welcoming to her. One thing needs to be understood. Companions are just companions. It's dangerous to trust them too much, and not although Erwin accepted the sister's position however, is still not changed his mind about Bir Rez. With this they finished. Then they can go to second floor. Mr. has probably already dialed. There's a lot of money there, so be it. Earns there, but you can't go to the upper floors. Immediately after did a little hunting on the first one. It's worth looking for the Var Rift. Never Erwin told me about this, and it's clear why. He's a newbie too. He probably went to the top first in effective way. Nothing Erwin, can you trust her? She's only been here for a year, will become much stronger. What is this sound? This is a rift. Quickly get into it. Only the devil didn't have time. But they did have time. Make some gnome and Mac with his. The main character was amazed by the satellite. Are there really any more left on the first floor? Magi. It turns out to be a good combination. No, even the excellent Einart was also impressed. But not all magicians are cool. She didn't see it in library of 1. She is of the 9th rank. Yes, mages are a very valuable resource for the city. That's why only the truly strong ones they can go to labyrinth. Others in words. Their new ally is enough strong once ended up here. And wow, I'll take my name like a barbarian. She's max 6th rank. Alua. Rivenven. It sounded very funny, But in the game magicians are still freaks, so that's another thing. Flowers, and this is professional. The porter hired by her. His name is Tarjan. The dwarf also introduced himself as very pleasant. Hikura Marat. He has been an adventurer for 3 years now. Years, and the main character didn't have time. Introduce yourself. It's for him, made by Aina. Having met Buren, asked himself, are they not like those who will work on the first floor? So then what are they doing here? Raven didn't started to reveal details. Simply, I heard that it should open soon. The Hikura fault also joined it. He's here for a similar reason. Got it. So they decided not to talk about the details. No, a particularly good sign. A mag continued. Everything worked out that way. How about splitting it up, prey between everyone except Tarjan? All after all, they agreed to dry her out. Dwarf didn't infect him. Follow the advice of the magician and labyrinth is a common practice. And Buren, I thought about the same thing. Once I appeared in the team, the magician would be better off following her. Moreover, it was the magicians who convinced the ruling family that evil spirits must be destroyed. Okay. He agrees, but no, Einar shouted. She doesn't agree. Buren here. Who should be the leader? This very one wise warrior.
He's not like normal barbarians.
He counts 6 hours a day. He not just unique, he is the best great warrior named Buren. And unsuccessfully Hans, who tried to calm her down, was burning with shame. Why is everything like this? Hikura Miraji perceived everything in a slightly different light. It's nice to see that your wife respects you so much. He's even jealous of his husband. Only what other wife? She's not his wife, and it is unknown how much longer this will last. Would have continued if Alo hadn't intervened, and didn't change the subject. Time to move on. Much to explore. Well, where to? Yard thinks that all this is hasty. They, after all, we just met. Maybe. At least they learn each other's skills. Is it really necessary in bloody citadels? We'll have monsters of the 7th and lower ranks. Enough of her Stargens. And yes, and more. She will take some spoils for herself. Keep her. She needs it for research. Well, how is it that she wants to take it away from? He has everything for himself. She is what kind of idiot is dwarf holds? And here it is. The most typical event for Dungeon and Stone. Conflict. The cause of the cases was money. The loot from the keeper is a stone rift. For successful magicians on the first research, is worthwhile in place. But for ordinary people, adventurers, many and very in vain. Girl touched on this topic. It is clear that she looks surprised. It seems like such a reaction she didn't expect. Is it really so naive? And the argument, everything continued, as suddenly the court suggested. Then he starts throwing the dice to decide which of the two of them will get it. The rift stone and 2, Pokad Buren. Saner has already been thrown out of the discussions. Come on, stop. Dear Hansu can't come back empty-handed. He doesn't need any essence or hands other objects. But the breaking stone, another matter. This should be enough. What demands did A put forward? Don't give him a lip-rolling one. This break you can get through without the barbarians. Sakat. Yes, this is too much. Devor agrees. E-rate, it seems like she didn't play. It's sad, but just a minute ago, these two were there so friendly. Well, it wasn't meant to be. Well, let the stone go to the magician dwarf, but then they will take 2 of Sin-eared essences from normal monsters. And the recent disputants exchanged glances. Agreed, but Buren ended up was content with the leftovers. Still, it is the maximum that could be done here. Bargain it out anyway. It won't happen. Suitable essences for the level of these two. Wow, how quickly they became again cute, as if nothing. And nothing happened. Creepy.